at Advanced Medical Imaging. We're there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Old School with DP and J.
We got a special guest in. We got Jason Peters.
All that's being asked of you is everything. Like, you have to give everything that you have to that program, to that team. If you want to be a champion, that's the only way, right? I mean, you have to commit to every lifting session, every strength and conditioning session, during the summer, during the spring, whatever it may be. It just has to be 100% commitment by everybody.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, good morning. Or sorry, I should say that. Good morning. Welcome to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and we are, December 17th?
Yeah, already.
17th?
Already
December 17th. I should look at the clock, the visual and everything. You all make it real easy. The numbers are on there. It's flashing. It says 7:59. It's got the temperature. But no, good crisp morning outside. Got Harrison on the ones and twos again. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, doing good. You said it's already December 17th. Holidays are around the corner here. And it's a good Sunday morning, though. I already see we got 23 people on the stream right now joining, watching in. So a good start to the morning. Everyone's up, ready for Bigger Than the Score. So it should be a good show this morning.
Yeah, it's like I said, let's keep the 23. I think they were like, okay, is Jay Foreman, where are we going to come? What's the news on Dominic? Or what's the news on Raiola? Is he coming?
Right.
I think they're all getting geared up, ready for Husker volleyball this afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then without question, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Bills at 3:45. So I won't promote which station, but it's on a station near you. So looking forward to that, and got a full day. It's been a good week. Like I said, you got the Huskers going on this afternoon, so good luck to them. You got Rico and DP out in Tampa, and they're experiencing the weather. My daughter's actually down there too. She was doing a demo demo person or whatever for the AVCA convention.
Mhm.
So she got to take in Thursday's game and then go into tonight's game. I guess they're getting some rain and that storm's kind of.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of rain.
Yeah.
You saw a little bit in some of the games yesterday and some of the college football bowl games. Like there was some, I want to say it was the Ohio game. It was just a constant downpour the entire game it was Ohio versus I don't want to blank on the names.
I want to say Miami.
Yeah, it was a
something
Miami
like
team out there.
They had 13 fumbles. It said the most ever in a championship or in a bowl game. So they had 13 fumbles and I think 5 lost.
Yeah.
And it just looked like old school monsoon type.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that movie was with Al Pacino and them. There was a couple of those type of movies or whatever. So around the city, you're kind of winding up. Yeah, it's getting into graduation. And so a lot of the area schools had graduation. So, UNL, I know they celebrated yesterday. And then, you had Bryan College of Health Science and, Doane and Wesleyan kind of had their winter graduations. And so congratulations to all those individuals who who either walked across the stage or received their diploma. Finals week's coming up for a lot of the area high schools. And so that's the fun part for them. And so quick question, what's your favorite finals? What's your final strategy? What was your favorite final strategy?
Oh man, definitely. If it's multiple choice, you'd really have to grind for those ones, study extra hard. I was always a fan of the essay finals. Those were a little nicer because typically you got some time. You kind of know the questions, think about what you're going to write the day you pull up to take your exams. The multiple choice, those are always the ones in your mind. You're like, okay, that'll be easier. Yeah. Those are the ones you typically do worse on. So for the final strategy, I would take spend a lot of time on the multiple choice kind of test. The essays, you can figure those. So give yourselves a little bit of time. Multiple choice though, those were always like, you don't know what's going to be on there. So spend time on those. Don't think those are a layup. Those are the ones that get you the most.
I always say the essay questions are write yourself to the answer.
Yep. Pretty much.
That's what I said. Somebody's like, well, what do I do? I said, write yourself to the answer at some point in time. Multiple choice. It's a crapshoot. What do they always say? C, like,
if you don't know
analytics.
See.
Yeah, I was the Mark Cuban before Mark Cuban even existed. I was like, okay, the analytics say C is the one that's going to get you. And then I think my other one was, I remember when my daughter looked through my stuff and she found all these yellow things, and you probably don't even know what they are.
Sticky notes, yellow things.
No, they're little yellow books. And she goes, why do you have so many books from the author from the author Cliff?
Oh, Cliff Notes? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, those are good.
So she was like, you have a lot of books. And I was just like, because I was an English major, English lit. And so it was like a lot of Shakespeare and stuff like that. And so those were like the thing. Like there was no YouTube or whatever else. And so you'd go to the campus bookstore and they'd have Cliff Notes on such and such. And I kept all those because they didn't buy them back. And so it was like I was like a sick hoarder. And so I had these. And so Cliff Notes was the way to go. I don't even know these exist anymore.
Oh, it's online now.
Oh, okay.
I've seen Cliff Notes online.
Thanks for showing my age right there. He's like, oh yeah, Pete, it's online like most stuff. Gore's over here laughing too. He's like, most answers are online, Pete. You could have had your doctorate by now.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a couple of the guests on the show here. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line. We got multiple people on the stream already saying they're joined, locked in. Great to have you guys in here. And again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo channel 951. But Pete, what do we have lined up for today's show here?
Yeah, like we said, just kind of celebrating some things. It is the last show of the year. It's not the last show ever. I've had a couple of people said they finally pulled you off air and they gave you one final swan song. But
if you keep wearing the Cowboys gear, we might get there.
Well, I mean, we got to go at least till when they get in the Super Bowl. You got to have a true fan in the house. I mean, DP's not. I mean, you got Jake's not. You're not.
We're in the hunt. I'll have you know. The Bears are in the hunt now. We'll see what happens.
So were the Broncos. That's a shout out to Raph there until last night's debacle. But just wanted to kind of just recap the year and kind of stay true to form. And it's been a great year. Again, I've always said I'm truly appreciative to DP and Rebecca for the space, especially to you for coming in on Sunday mornings. What kind of started out as something that was, okay, let's, get some young people on and hear people ramble has really, to me, just become something that we've had, as you said, by the stream, just individuals who've followed, has taken an interest.
Absolutely.
I love the texts each week of just saying, who's going to be on. Man, I really enjoyed listening to Rafa and Antonio, and they just kind of put some things in perspective. And you always talk about it Sundays that feel good, but I hear from people on Tuesday and Wednesday, and sometimes Friday, just saying, hey, I went back and listened to the show, and so I just wanted to kind of stay true to form, but have some guests in, but also flip the script a little bit. And so we've got Gore, who is a scholar that I've known for a little bit, but he is now at the university. He's done a number of different things. He's been familiar with some of our guests, but I'll let him explain a little bit more about what he does. And then also Coach Rump. Coach Rump has been instrumental in a lot of just areas in my life. And so as you talk about just, Thanksgiving and Christmas and just being thankful and appreciative of different things, Coach Rump, I've known, I want to say, I don't even want to count the years or whatever else, but 15 plus, maybe 20 plus, and has been involved with my daughter, but just also experiences that I've had a part of. The Norwood Park piece that we did last week, he was kind of the first person I said yes to my ask and without hesitation, didn't ask a bunch of questions and just showed up and continues to give. And he's currently the coach at Lincoln High School. Came out of retirement. So he came out of retirement as their coach. Dominique Kelly Johnson took on an opportunity with another organization. And so at that time, wanted to bring his insight and his wisdom and was gracious enough to coach them. And so had a successful evening last night. Got a win over Omaha South.
Got to win.
Fantastic. and got woken up by the dogs this morning, from my understanding.
Without a doubt.
So how both of you doing this morning?
Doing well. It's great to be on.
Fantastic. Gore's up here playing it cool. He's like, oh, I'm doing it. This isn't the Denzel Washington, Barry White show. This isn't like Love Jams at 9 p.m. It's 8 a.m. So, well, Gore, real quickly, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where have you gone to school? What are you doing now?
Yeah. So I'm a student at UNL right now. I'm previously studying sports media and broadcasting. I'm actually moving my expertise into history teaching now.
He's taking his talent. He's taking his talents elsewhere. He's taking my talents to another business college.
Yeah, but I'm from Lincoln, born and raised. I've been here my whole life. I went to elementary school, middle school here. I went to high school at Lincoln East. Proud Spartan alum.
All right.
Sophomore in college right now, and I'm kind of just all over the place.
And you've had a little bit of involvement with because I know DP is going to hear this and he's going to probably call in and grab you back to that sports media performance. But who are you currently engaged with? Who have you engaged with in the past with some of your efforts? Because it's not been you're not just doing stuff on graphics iMovie.
Yeah. So I've spent the last 2 summers working with the Nebraska PGA, doing some stuff within their junior golf field, but also within their section side of things. So working with golf has been great for the last couple of years. And I currently work for the Nebraska football team. I've been working with them since last May. I've been on their creative media team. So I've been making videos for the team, kind of just fulfilling all their needs on the media side of things, which has been a really great experience.
Okay. So some people are like, okay, is that golf internship open now? So Harris and I are looking to be like, okay, because I learned about the Texas putt from Ellie Honans.
Yeah.
So I know you work closely. So I've been using that consistently when I've gone out. Coach Rump has seen me effectively use
the good
that.
old T-wedge.
Yes. Coach Rump, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. And
I've had a interesting background to get to where I am today. When it comes to like the test taking strategies, I should have learned some of those because it took me about 20 some years to get through college. The first time I went, they asked me not to come back after 3 years. They said they didn't think I was a serious enough student, and I think they were correct. And then about 18 years passed by, and I ended up going back to school, getting my degree to be a teacher, and started teaching at Hartley Elementary, which is where my relationship with Coach Kelly started.
Yeah.
Dominique was a 4th grader then in my very first classroom. And then got into coaching, was an assistant at Northeast, a lower level coach and assistant at Southwest, and eventually the head coach at Southwest. And then I retired in 2021, and Neat called me up about 6 weeks before the season started and said, "Hey, Coach, I got this really good job offer that I don't think I can turn down." And I think she was just trying to get all of her ducks in a row and asked me if I would possibly come back to help Coach Zenon, because she had just started a new position as a counselor at Lincoln High, which
and
is
that's Autumn. For
Autumn
those that
Zenon,
may
yes.
not know who she is.
She was the JV coach last year, and what a great person that I've loved getting a chance to know her. And I think there's just a lot on her plate with taking a new position as a counselor. And so Neek said, "Is there any way you'd come back and, maybe just come help mentor for a year and help us get through things?" And I mean, my Hartley kids mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
That was my first school I taught at, and I'm a Lincoln High alum. And and I just live up the street. So I said, yeah, I could do that. I said, let me check with my wife. And she said, yeah, anything that gets you out of the house, let's go ahead and take that. And it was interesting because I was talking with some of the girls at an early open gym, and I told them, I said, ladies, it was exactly 50 years ago this year that I started at Lincoln High as a sophomore. And they looked at me like, why aren't you dead? How can you be that old? Yeah. But it's been a great ride, and I've had a lot of great opportunities, a lot that you've helped provide, Pete, and the Norwood Park experience. I listened to that show last week, and it brought back a lot of great memories. And then on my Facebook feed, one of those rolled up, and it's like, it's just an amazing thing. And yesterday at halftime, I got to use Carlos's halftime speech.
that is one of us. Like I said, go ahead, Harrison. What was it?
Yes, really simple. Destroy them.
Yeah.
And that was for us, one of the, just the highlights. And so I should say state championship coach. But we're going to go to a break here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip the script a little bit. We have brought Gore in, and Gore knows me in a capacity and knows that I don't follow the 5 B's on a regular basis. I won't explain what those are, but that's part of it's be brief. But Gore is going to basically reverse the interview, and he's going to interview myself and Harrison. And then also we're going to keep Coach Rump just about the show, what's gone on through the year, insights, moments that we've taken away, and we'll kind of recap the year. So we'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
School taught you all about the 4 seasons, spring, summer, and so on. And then there's the way we really tell what time of year it is in sports seasons. Football season, baseball season, or off season. But what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now. And now, and now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolatseason.com.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale now. Ticketmaster.
Are you working in, or looking to get into the electrical construction industry. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness. And now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is Nebraska's premier NIL company. And with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through December 19th is spend $40 and get a free ribeye. Keep posted to the Mercado's social media pages for other specific daily deals from the 13th through the 24th. Don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
On the block with Strick and Austin. It's that poise, that resiliency that stopped Michigan State runs and got Nebraska started on a few. There were a couple moments, especially early, and then after that Walker run, you're like, okay, we've seen the story before for Nebraska. They'll fight, and then they'll fall apart. This is where it all comes unraveled. It didn't tonight, and that's a huge improvement from Creighton and from Minnesota.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. Again, this is Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, and then always on the ones and twos, we've got Harrison spinning things. Again, I'm going to work on 2024, getting them a different name than the Dr. Dre of The Ticket. But Harrison, how can people get in touch with us? I know we got a lot listening in today and really appreciative of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can always join in on the show. Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685 or join on the streams as because I'm doing Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or X, if you call it that, and channel 951 on Allo. And you guys got to be ready here, just in case. If you guys got to break Dylan Rayola news, that's what the numbers are waiting. So if that breaks, we'll be ready.
We'll push things off to the side for you on that. But we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Gore as we introduce Gore and Coach Rump. We've got both of them in the studio, but Gore is going to kind of lead things and flip the script a little bit on Harrison and myself and kind of just lead us through kind of wrapping up the year, but just interviewing us, asking us some questions. Coach Rump is a avid listener, so getting some perspective on that. So I'll give the microphone over to Gore.
Absolutely. Awesome. Like I previously said, it's great to be on the show, making my radio debut. A service that you guys didn't think you needed, but here I am. So, but yeah, I mean, let's just get right into it. Pete, I'm going to ask you, what kind of was the vision behind this? What brought you into this, and how's it been sustained?
Yeah, I said a couple times, when you get around DP, and if you don't know, Derek Pearson, who's the station owner, and Rebecca, because I'd be remiss if you didn't mention, when you mentioned DP, you got to mention Rebecca. They really have visions that sometimes you don't even know that you're a part of. And I remember having a conversation. I saw him at the Inspire event, and there were a number of scholars that Desiree, Andrea had received one of the scholarships, and a couple people had just made mention of me as a note of appreciation. And I was humbled by that. And then he gave me his card and just said, "Hey, I'd love to touch base." And I didn't really know who DP was, to be honest with you, which is hard to say now because I think anywhere you go, Harrison would agree, who doesn't know who DP is. And we scheduled a lunch at Brewski's, and we were talking about some different things, and just our philosophies aligned. And it was about, he talks a lot about love. And for me, it's about, empowerment. It's about education. It's about engaging. And those things seem simply to align. And so he talked about an opportunity to just come on the show once, and he profiled a couple things. And from there, he just said, hey, would you like to continue this in some form or fashion? I remember the first time in here, I think Harrison was here, he was here, and I thought it was going to be every week he was going to be here, and we were going to bring somebody in. And then that next week, he wasn't there. He sent me a note. He goes, "You got this." And so, from that, it's just been an opportunity to showcase and illustrate and highlight the goodness of scholars around the community, how they pour into others, but how they pour into the community. But more importantly, just give them a platform and a stage. And I believe it's been well received. I've been appreciative of those who've listened and kind of ebbed and flowed with us as we've kind of tinkered with the format. But that's really what the vision was, is just an opportunity to showcase goodness within the community, whether it's young people, primarily young people, but also adults who also have a role in that as well.
Yeah, kind of going back on something you just said, you speak about giving scholars a platform, and a big thing for you is elevating scholars' voices. Where does that come from, and why does that mean so much to you?
Yeah, there's people in this room that are instrumental in that. Coach Rump has been a part of that, Harrison, DP, but, throughout history, scholars have been people say, they're our future, we've got to take care of our future. And no, they're today. I mean, you think about 1963, I think the Birmingham Children's March, you can go on and on, Claudette Colvin, people remember Rosa Parks, but Claudette Colvin did the same thing Rosa Parks did about 9 months before her, and so I focus, there's a lot in the civil rights movement, but even today, when you think about, going forward 2020, who led all those, those transformational change? It was young people. And so they're not tomorrow, they're today. And so I continue to be, those three things I talked about when I go into space: empowered, educated, and engaged. That's where it's at. And for me, it's been a gift that I've had the opportunity to align the things that I do professionally with the things that I feel like I do personally. But also I give credit to my mom and dad, Mr. Howard and Alita Ferguson. They didn't have those opportunities. And they put me in space where I didn't always take advantage of them. And then I felt it was my responsibility to make sure that I offered it and made sure others took advantage, whether it be my daughter, but then kind of spurring off that to other young people within this community, but even outside of it.
Yeah. Speaking of young people, Coach Rump, you work in schools. You said your first gig was teaching fourth grade at Hartley.
Fourth and fifth grade at Hartley.
Was that always something that you were looking forward to doing? Is that something you always liked doing?
Like growing up and as a young adult, I was always around like summer playgrounds and that kind of things, helping out and doing those kind of things. So I was always involved with young people. I guess until I had actually two teachers who were neighbors, Bruce and Mindy Reed, who both taught and coached at Northeast. I had gone through a whole bunch of different kinds of jobs, and I was starting to coach my own kids' daughters' games and sports. And they both said, "Man, you need to go back to school and get into education. We need more people like you, and especially in elementary ed." And so I ended up quitting my job and going back to school full time, and realized all of a sudden that, man, school is a lot easier when you sit down and pay attention. And I also realized that it's a lot harder to lie to your wife than it is your mom about how hard you're working in school.
We're not advocating for that, people. That's a station disclaimer.
And once I got into teaching, I loved every day that I went into the classroom. And the minute that it became burdensome is when I decided I needed to retire. But I think, that fourth, fifth, and sixth grade is where I taught. And I think those are the greatest kids in the world to be around. Their sense of humor is just developing, and it's just a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Harrison, kind of flipping it over to you a little bit. What's your history and what's your role here? What are your passions?
Yeah, so my history here at the Ticket is I started as an intern. I have to go back, I think, 3 years for Early Break with Sip and Jake. That's 6 to 8 a.m. every Monday through Friday. But yeah, I was kind of going down the same road. I was in college, had a degree in communications, was doing a lot of drywall and paint work, was joined with an LLC for a little bit, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then, yeah, I was lucky enough to get an internship at Early Break, and it turned into me being a longtime producer here. And the job honestly just slowly kind of kept evolving. For a little bit of while there, it was just Ticket weeknights, and now it's Sunday mornings. Now it's picking up a little bit bigger on a roll and scheduling everything out. So, Pete mentioned it before, but with Derek Pearson, he puts out a vision that you don't always see sometimes. And that was definitely the case for me. As the more I got involved with this job, the more the vision just kind of keeps lining itself out for me. And DP kind of always saw it. I'm slowly just realizing it myself. But yeah, I just kind of got into producing more and more. And yeah, now my bigger passion is really just becoming producing better and better clips, better audio quality, better video, just anything I can do to help the talent we have on air get to their audience in a better way. And that's really slowly becoming my new passion.
That's awesome. Pete, another question for you. What kind of goes into your thought process when you think of who you want to bring on, and what value they bring and what the people want to hear?
Yeah, for me, sometimes, you wonder, you hope it draws in other people, but I want sometimes those voices and those faces people know, but also those stories that people don't. And I get the unique opportunity with my job, with Lincoln Public Schools, but definitely also outside of it. I think sometimes even outside, you get those tidbits of oh, okay, I saw how this individual, navigated a certain situation, or when they're at a football camp. So I think about Cam Dale, who came in. The reason I wanted him on the show was just he was just a good, kind kid, a phenomenal athlete. But rarely do I have individuals on the show because of their athletic ability and their prowess. To be perfectly honest, that's not what's going to get you on. It's the other intangibles. It's that character. And so I want people to hear that. I want people to hear their perspective. And sometimes they don't even know it. I think Harrison talked about it, not even seeing the vision, or why you want. And so I'll always I think probably half the time I get, well, why me? Or they're so nervous. Like, I don't really have that much to share. And yeah, you do, and they get in this seat, and I think about Antonio, and I think about, what Antonio, how one, his first time he was a guest here, but the second time he facilitated the show when I was away in Utah. And that's a 5th grader, and just like handled it like a pro. And what I remember, and I don't think they mind me saying this, is what I remember, we were at the other studio and Antonio was on answering questions. And I looked back, and I don't know if Harrison remembers this, but Dad was wiping his eyes. And Antonio's like, I've never seen I've not seen him be emotional like that before. And he goes, I'm just so proud of him. And I never, imagined seeing him in this space. And I think it wasn't, he never imagined seeing him in space. He imagined him being in this space, but never thought there would be an opportunity for him to be in this space. And that's what goes into my thought process and goes into my thinking is, scholars and parents and everybody knows this exists. They see it on TV. They see LeBron James interview. They see Becca Alec interviewed, but you don't have to wait to be that person to be in this space. And if we can provide that opportunity, it's not just me. If we can provide that opportunity, then I think we're obligated to do it. And so that's what goes into my thought process as I look for young people, not the traditional mainstream, but you're going to get some, but Amelia Shaez, Rafa, her story, 15 years old and was on here and people thought she was 50 with the knowledge she was dropping. And so, I don't know if that answers the question, but that's my thought process goes into not that people don't imagine being here, but they just don't know it exists. And so I want to be that vehicle and that door for that to happen.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly powerful. Just opportunities create gateways, which is huge for people that are not of the seasoned age.
That's his subtle way of, I told him never call somebody old. Thank you.
Just got to keep it real. So you gave a lot of insight on people that have been on the show before. So Harrison and Coach, I would like to open up to you guys. Who are some people that you guys have seen on the show that have had some impact, maybe not only on you, but things that you've heard, things that you've seen? What are some takeaways, and what are some bites of things that you guys have taken from people that have previously been on?
Yeah, I'll take it off first just because we just mentioned him, but definitely Antonio. It's Pete's out of town, which, shout out Antonio for running the show for that one. Didn't have to hear about the Cowboys that morning. But hearing him going there, and shout out to Phil Maynard too, who always is a great help for the show when we need him. But yeah, it was one of those times where Pete leaves and Antonio's going to run the show, leaving me with a 5th grader, and he kills it. It was one of the easiest shows I've ever had to really produce for. Antonio's asking great question after great question. And when it comes to trying to remember the great quotes, it's almost hard to remember a lot of them. You can go from Rafa to Carlos to we just had last week with the classic Destroy Them. But there's so many quotes. And one thing you realize with these younger people is it's always simple, right? It's really simple advice, but it's stuff when we get older. We like to put in all these other variables that don't really mean anything. And they just see it through much clearer lens. It's like basically just do the right thing. Sometimes it's going to be harder, but trying to think of a good quote. Pete, do you have a quote from any of these scholars that we've had on here that really sticks out to you that you can remember word by word?
It was the 2 sisters, the young ladies, and she talked about the Kobe Bryant quote that spoke to her.
Yeah.
That's still the way she says, if you don't try, and I can't say it word for word, but it was the Kobe Bryant quote. I'll look it up, but that one is the one. They all resonate, but that still continues to this day to resonate. And then also one of the scholars I remember. EJ Felder, I asked him, what would you tell, your parents out there? He's like, just let them be. And I always say it's their journey. And he said, just let them be, support them.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to EJ Felder too. And there's just been so many great scholars on here. You can go back on YouTube and re-listen to them. But yeah, it's just, to me, I'm always amazed about, how simple sometimes they'll put their quotes through their lens, what they're trying to say. And it really rings true. So I think what Pete's saying, they really are the future. It's not tomorrow. Like a lot of times it's now, and being able to hear them week in, week out and hear them talk. It's great to have this platform because a lot of them, I'm just so impressed by where they're at already.
I think for me, I can go back to one of the early shows when you had, it was a lot about middle school athletics, and Nick Crump was on, who's a really good friend of mine. Taught with him at Scott Middle School and coached alongside of him, and just to hear how the middle school program works. And then I have to go back to last week's show because the Norwood Park engagement was, I mean, something that was huge to us at Southwest when I was there as a head coach. And my good friend, Coach Beretta, has continued that. And it truly was the greatest practice that we could have. And just over the years, the number of kids that we've had contact. I remember the COVID year when we had to have it outside and had a little girl who was drawing pictures for me of basketball and different drills and kind of things. And Dana does such a great job over there. That one was, that was a show that was kind of special to me.
That's awesome. You guys have talked a lot about Norwood Park, and I've done a little bit of stuff with that Roadrunner Classic with you, Pete. What was, I feel like you guys might have talked about this before, but kind of going back onto that, like what was the vision behind that, and why is that so like beneficial for scholars of that age?
Yeah, I think it just aligns with kind of the foundation of multiple things, not just with Norwood Park. And so you're familiar with, obviously the Equity Cadre, but also the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Rally in March, Norwood Park. I'd always tell people, like, anybody can do events, and again, anybody can do events. And there's no shout out to people that are event planners or whatever, but I want it to be an engagement. And so I have to take this from, Aaron Davis, who's on the drive with Raf. He always talked about motivation leaves the room once you do, inspiration stays long after you're gone. Yeah. And so I want what I'm involved in, I want what I put forward to be something that becomes something that's inspirational, that's systemic, that lasts beyond Pete. And as those pieces that you've talked about, whether it be the Roadrunner Classic, it went beyond Coach, Rump and myself. It went beyond Coach Jay Cox to the scholars that are participating. And so here we are 10 plus years later with the rally, 29 years plus later, with other things, Cadre 8 years later. It's gone beyond just a moment, but to movement. And so that's what goes into the thought process, is if it can really truly move things. So I think you're going to take it to break here, and then we'll be back with another segment. So, Gore, go ahead.
Awesome. Well, we're here with 93.7 The Ticket.
Bigger than the score?
Bigger than the score, yeah.
He started to rename. He was trying to rename the show, Harrison. No, we're going to cut him off. We're on 93.7 The Ticket. Bigger than the score. This is Peter Ferguson, BHS LLC. We'll be right back after this break, and we're going to talk to Gore real quick.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give John Henry's a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance. So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog? What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in December. Try the Cubano panini with ham, applewood smoked pork loin, and more. Order a caramel latte this month, and 10% of proceeds will go to the Apace Foundation. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited to highlight the architecture of your home or business and provide a warm environment that feels safe. And for those outside the Lincoln area, they do ship across the country and are happy to work with anyone near or far with lights anywhere from 18 inches to 110 inches. Enhance your curb appeal with an exquisite tailored light today. Call 402-432-2572 or go to tailoredlights.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson, and again, on the ones and twos, we've got Mr. Harrison. We got a number of people have commented on the streams. I'm sure some of them we want to avoid. I think Mike Alvarez, like 2 weeks ago, I do want to give that comment. He sent a note on. He goes, "Great show. What was that life vest that you were wearing?" Because I was wearing. He goes, "You got a puff. You look like a puffer fish," because I had on a vest. So I was like, "Yeah, say that to Foreman next time and see what happens." But how can people get a hold of us, and what are some of the comments coming in?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can always join us through the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951. You can always put a face to the voice through that route. And a lot of people just saying join, putting out a tag out there, letting us know they're in the show. Some people saying, don't you just love how all sports media has gone dark, referring to the Dylan Raiola news. Some people are very, very eager for that news. But this is bigger than the score. Nothing's broke yet, so don't worry. I just checked my Twitter. You guys are fine. But if something does happen to break, we'll be sure to mention it right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah. Well, hey, we've kind of flipped the script a little bit, and we've had Gore, who has kind of taken over the reins and just kind of asked us about, with this being our last show of the year, things that have been takeaways, have been moments for us. And then we also have Coach Rump here, who's the coach over at Lincoln High and formerly over at Southwest High School. He's an avid listener, and so getting his perspective. And then Harrison, just kind of as he's produced the show, what he's taken away. So I'm going to turn it over to Gore for a couple more minutes.
Yeah. It's just a question I have to get off my chest. Pete, why? Those cowgirls, man, why?
Wow. See, that's going to be a whole nother. Fitness fanatics do not need to worry about coming in. Jeff and Nicole, we're going to go ahead and reprogram Gore to completely understand. But the long and short of it, my dad was born in Nacogdoches, Texas, and so lived there. And he was a diehard. I mean, there was a few things: death, taxes, and the Cowboys. Yeah. And I remember one year he was in the military, so we lived in about 8 different places. And I remember going to Seattle. We lived in Washington State. He was stationed at Fort Lewis, and I tried to switch over to the Seahawks. And I think I got kicked out. I got kicked out of the house. I think he physically removed me, and it was about a 30-minute switch. And then I came back. But when they were like 1-16, I mean, he had a bumper sticker. We have a lifetime subscription to the Dallas Cowboy newsletter that is used to come in a paper form, and now it's digital. And I mean, he paid the lifetime subscription, and so we will forever have that. So Cowboys are through and through. That's the way I go. I'm honoring him, but also we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to Las Vegas next year.
Yeesh. Harrison, how about your Bears? What's going on there?
Oh man, I wish you wouldn't done your research for that one. Yeah, so the Bears, tough run here. I think it's a management top to bottom problem. We talk about the quarterbacks all the time. Try to name your favorite quarterback out there. Might be you end up with McMahon as one of the best, or Grossman. You're really picking hairs there, trying to find the best Bears QB. But it's like a management problem. I was always a Bears fan. Started when I was young. I actually have an older brother. He's a Packers fan, so I had to zag on him. Oh, you can't be that. So you're a Packers fan as well.
Yes,
Cut his mic.
Yeah, I might have to do that. But that is the exact reason I'm a Bears fan. I had to find a way to get under my brother's skin. Has not gone as planned, as I'm sure you've been on the fortunate side of that end, seeing the Packers continuously beat the Bears.
Yeah,
having Aaron Rodgers say, "We own you guys."
J Love now.
Now it's Jordan Love. You might have to answer some questions yourself, because you're going to go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to possibly Jordan Love. How did you end up becoming a Packers fan?
Yeah, so my first memory of watching this doesn't really age me. It kind of tells you how young I am. Jeez. But my first memory of watching the NFL was watching the Packers win the Super Bowl against the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, and that was with my dad. So that was like my breakthrough with the NFL. I never was a big football guy.
Mm-hmm.
I played soccer my whole life, and my dad was big into getting me into soccer. So football wasn't really my forte, but watching the Packers win that was like my first big NFL experience, and I was like, all right, let's go.
See, I'm a similar story, but we ended up losing. I was watching the Colts Super Bowl. Yeah, Devin Hester, shout out him. He brings it to the house on I think it was a first punt return or a kickoff. But he brings it in for the house. Then it was Colts all the way through. But yeah, different Super Bowl experiences. Pete, were you watching a Super Bowl? Is that how you got locked in or no?
No, like I said, it was from birth. You see the picture posted, and you follow BHS Productions on Twitter and other things. Every game day, I'm posting a picture of me in a onesie, and it's a Dallas Cowboy onesie. And without fail, I did switch it up one game. And they lost to the Cardinals. And so I am staying with the one picture. I think I was like 4 years old, and that picture will go up. It's got to go up right after the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really since birth. I mean, my dad, we would go on Sundays. When we went to church, and he would watch if they were playing at 11 o'clock, like, he would bounce. Like we would have to find our own way home because they were on every Sunday. And so like if they were on the early game, some places AD can attest to this, that, the sermon would keep going and it would go a little longer and he would excuse himself. Like we thought he was going to the restroom and we're there with mom and we're like, where's dad? And we also knew not to interrupt him. Like he had his own room that he watched and we did not interrupt like the game, or we sat in there and watched with him. So that's how you got family time on Sunday for 3 hours if with the Cowboys piece.
Sundays are for football and the boys. Coach Rob, what about you? What's your
my NFL experience is going to date me a little bit because I'm going to go I'm a Packer fan and I'm going to go like pre-Super Bowl and not like last Super Bowl they won. I'm talking before there were Super Bowls is when I was a Packer fan back in the days of Bart Starr and Jerry Kramer and players like that.
So you're going to have to get on Google and look that up, Gore.
Probably. I don't know. I recently picked up this little like plaque that has Brett Favre's Super Bowl win, and it has like all the players from that team. And I'm like, Super Bowl, what is that number? It's like
Jeff
Roman numeral.
I was going to say Jeff might hold you over for the next segment and everything with that. So Gore, kind of, I know we're going to run out of time, but just kind of as we kind of close the year out and everything else, what's a question you want to ask each of us? And then I kind of have a question that I want to pose to everybody here.
Yeah. I mean, one question might be like a 2-part question is, what is the greatest piece of advice you've ever received, just like throughout your life? And what is one piece of advice you'd like to give back to the people?
Coach Rump, I'm gonna let you go first.
Let's see. When I entered teaching, one of the greatest pieces of advice I got was out of a little booklet that said everything I learned about teaching I learned from kindergartners, and it was a little 1-page quote that said, "Kids work harder for teachers they like," and that is something that's really true, and I would always tell new teachers that I had an opportunity to work with is, that, and coaches as well, when I've had a chance to talk with them, I don't know any kid that has actually gone out and tried to make a mistake. And to keep that in mind when you're getting frustrated with their inability to, whether it's grasp a math concept or an inbounds play or whatever it might be. I know our level of frustration as teachers and coaches can get pretty high, but I always go back to, there isn't anyone that's gone out there to say, "Hey, watch how mad I make coach here."
Well, Harrison, I'm going to ask you quick. Go ahead. You.
Trying to think about it. Honestly, when it comes to quotes, a lot of it right here on the show. And this one's actually from a song, but it applies so well to what I do. It's actually a Kid Cudi song. It's just the people I've met, places I've been, all who make me the man I so proudly am. And that lyric right there means a lot, right? Because I can take every interaction, what I have here on the show, the places I've been, I can use every opportunity to learn, better myself. And, it's a Kid Cudi quote that not a lot of people would think of, but that quote right there, it sticks out a lot to me. And I try to service it just about every day through my job.
Yeah, I like that. For me, it's, one is don't close the door on opportunities you don't know exist yet. I think back to that engagement with so many people, but like you, Gore, if I'd have never engaged or kind of had that banter with you, I'd have closed that door and never knew what everything could exist in you sitting here today. And DP, same thing, like not taking that lunch, you close. And so many people close the door on opportunities. They think about that current moment and not how things, as I said before, will move forward. And then the other one is it's their journey. I've had my daughter on a couple times. I've spoken about her, and Coach Rump, that's been one of my quotes is like, it's their journey. And I think as I've listened to scholars coming to that space, and Harrison maybe attest to this, is we've asked, what's a piece of advice that you give to parents or coaches or educators? And it's like one, I think Sandy said it, like, do your job, but don't be them. do your job and let it's their journey, whether it's athletics, whether it's education. And I think the more we hear that, it's not just hearing it, but let's apply it. Whether we're in the stands, whether we're coming for parent teacher conference, like it's their journey. So those are the things that I have taken away. As we close, because I want to give just a couple thanks and appreciations at the end of the year. What's a piece of advice that you would have, Gore, to others out there?
Yeah. I think a lot of the things I've learned is just from like taking a leap of faith. You never know what's going to happen until it happens. So kind of keeping everything, not counting out opportunities and not counting out people, because people change and you can change.
Yeah.
So don't be like one-minded, and don't have tunnel vision. This is funny. I played basketball in middle school. I suck at basketball. I'm terrible at basketball. I'm really bad at basketball. But I played middle school basketball at Mickle. Shout out the Missiles. And my middle school basketball coach was Dion Gaskin. You know Dion?
Dion, yeah.
Yeah. All right. He can't say peripheral vision to save his life. He always told us you needed to use your peripheral vision. And we were like, what is this dude trying to say? He's like, peripheral vision. And so him not being able to say that kind of like opened my eyes to the word peripheral and just like being able to see things through your peripheral vision, not just being tunnel visioned. So kind of opening up your eyes and seeing things as for what they are, not what you want them to be.
Awesome. Well, you know what first off, I want to thank you for coming in today, and Coach Rump. There was unexpected drop in, as I sent a note to Harrison. This kind of came to fruition after the fact, but I think it was a great way to kind of end up the year and still keep on the focus and the foundation. I also just want to thank all those who have kind of tuned in regularly, have sent notes, have expressed interest in being on. I also want to just give a shout out to Harrison. I know getting up at 8 a.m. isn't always the easiest. And so though he'll say it's his job, he's really put himself into it. He's made the guests here feel comfortable and feel like they truly belonged in this space. And so with that being said, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, however you may celebrate. And what I'd say is everything's bigger than the score. And we'll see you on January 7th for a new episode on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Pete Ferguson.